Front to Cylinder. King's Gambit getting to the outside with his Final Assault. Platinum Jubilee still in front. Cylinder's knuckling down now. Cylinder goes to Platinum Jubilee and Cylinder went home best. Cylinder ran down Platinum Jubilee.
Welcome to Bet Doctor Behind the Curtain. Look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host, Scoot. I'm excited. Walt's here. He's done all the Sandown and Randwick. He's fresh.
There's a dark cloud over the House of Walt at the moment. I don't know why, but good luck if you're... today could be interesting.
It's Autumn Carnival. You meant to be excited? Positive?
No.
Sprinkle some on your breakfast?
Angry.
Hey?
Angry Walt.
Angry Walt. I think you bet better, Angry Walt. You bet better.
We'll find out.
Back against the wall.
Let's find out.
Chip on your shoulder.
Got that. Got a brick.
I know a bloke who goes well when he's got a chip on his shoulder or a bee in the bonnet. DK, how are you, brother? You're looking fresh.
It's normally me. We're flipped positions, Walt. Yeah, no, I'm fresh as a daisy. We got 33 here today in Melbourne the next 3 days, Nico. I've got a massive weekend on the drink coming up. I'm going on a bender Friday, Saturday, so might even sneak out to Moonee Valley Friday night, sort of halfway through to kick things off. But yeah, I'm going all right, even though you're hoodied up, Nico. Let's go. We're still used to the old weather down here. What's doing?
Oh, I didn't think it'd be as hot as it was this morning, but it's grouse, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
beautiful.
A few good days down here in Melbourne. I thought I'd better represent the Blues early in the season. Might even go to the practice match tomorrow. So
there you go.
We're up and about down here in Melbourne. Yeah, maybe there is a dark cloud over the Gold Coast at the moment.
Yeah, shouldn't be. Walt?
Mate, it's gonna.
I'd rather get struck by lightning than go to a bloody Carlton, Brody, Geelong, anyone practice match. I don't care who they are. Freaking Jesus Christ. How bad are they going down there? Hey?
Noel Callow's back off suspension.
Love Callow.
There's 4,000 meetings and he's talking about going to a goddamn practicing.
Ballina.
What's going on here?
I don't know.
Oh.
He's the one jockey that calls himself in the third person by his initials.
The king.
No, he calls himself Encallo. Encallo this and Encallo. Don't worry about Encallo. He's back.
Did you see what he said?
Yeah, we all call him the king.
They made me write a sob story so that I could come back a bit early to ride track work. What a joke.
He's a big...
Loved it. Someone with power and everything got him after Lisa. Having said that, Walt, I thought this would be top of the agenda, but Walt obviously didn't have any feedback in the agenda. It was Zach Purton teeing off on Walt's mate.
Mark Van Gestel.
Van Gestel.
I tell you
so
what.
That looked an ultimatum to me. It's either going to be me or him.
Can I throw
win?
the conspiracy theory out that PVL's planted him over there just to bomb the joint? That's what I'm running with. But
I thought he'd be up and about. He's Zach Purton.
But why
mate.
would
What
you want
do
him? Why would you want him? Where would he go here? South Australia or something? He's dead set a provincial jockey. Like
Who?
Zach Purton. He's a dead set wombat. Oh man,
He is off today. All right, he's off. He's completely off.
I'd rather
He's sticking
MVG.
You're in VG corner.
I would
Fair
rather
enough.
MVG than Zach Purton. He is a dead set wombat.
Well,
Send him
all
back.
right. What I'd say Purton says unless Van Gestel changes his stewarding practices,
He's
I'd say
out.
Purton would land. He's out. So, you Van Gestel. What are the chances of him changing anything? He's a steward?
5 bazillion to 1. Yeah, you can. Yeah, there's more chance that Zach Purton being a good bloke than him changing. So they're both in trouble.
There's a pot on Purton as a bloke there. Jeez.
Oh, he's all right. He's just unbearable.
Oh,
I've got some good Zach Purton stories from back in the day, but they're not for air.
it sounds like you got Van Gestel and Purton in the same sort of corner there, Walt. So no wonder you're not.
Oh, I think MVG's more of a point and shoot guy. I think he's just the executioner. I think whereas Zach's he's just not one of my sort of humans. But I'd rather him stay in Hong Kong.
It'll be interesting to see how that sort of washes out. But hard man to get past, MVG, as you well know, Walt. Now, speaking, we'll flow on from that a little bit. Matt Chapman from the UK's dropped a funny one last night. He talks a lot of sense when it comes to whip, but he's talking about growing the sport by miking up the trainers to be in jockeys' ears. So I suppose while we're talking about jockeys, what do you think about this one, Walt? Imagine Chris Waller in Nash's ear when Osipenko is sort of
so they're going 50 k's an hour or whatever they're going. There's an inch between them, and Wally yells out, "Oh, they've gone slow! Pull out and take off!" Like our great AV man Borko, he's another F1 bloke. We sort of liken it to they yell out just before the pole thing, just before the pit stop, box, or like something. You come in, change your tyres. What happens the first time? They go, "Oh, go left, bang! Someone's on the deck, someone dies, game over." Like it is the dumbest thing. It's not. You can't relate it to any other sport.
It only happen in track work or something. You got you got four or five horses, Godolphin or Wallach working together, and he's talking all the
just click up or something like that. Like
you take the lead and all that business.
I can understand if they said, like if they had a bit of something in their ear where they're going, "Oh, you've gone out, 4 lengths below the first thing, just be aware that you've gone steady, something like that. But you know that people are going to overplay it. It's just
How much do jockeys talk in the race?
Jockeys talk between themselves all the time, but it's more a safety issue. Yeah,
Get out of the way.
it's exactly, but it's more a safety issue during the race. Give me room, give me this, just so that they're aware where they are, because they are racing in such tight quarters. But if you add decision making in above and beyond what they've got through and go in their own brain, oh my God, it's just a Pandora's box for mine.
Imagine gay in your ear.
Imagine, what about
What about P. Moody giving it to McDougall halfway down the straight at Cranbourne that day when he called him a fucking imbecile? Right? What would he been saying to him?
That's
P.
what I
Moody.
mean. O'Shea in your ear. Or,
Oh my
maybe
God.
you know how you get the power play. Maybe they've all got like a zapper, and you can any trainer can zap one jockey during the meeting or something. We'll really make it like what was it? It's a knockout or something. We'll make it like a game show.
I don't mind his thinking, forward thinking, technology 2023 now, but I think other ideas, but don't mind his forward thinking, at least.
It's something like that. If they had some earpiece and it read out the sections as they were going or something like that, maybe that would help them make decisions. I don't know. But do we really need it? Or is that part of the art form of being a good jockey, understanding how fast and slow you're going and trying to work it out yourself? Like, I don't understand.
What about goggles with the sectionals so they could see how fast they were going?
Imagine the blokes at Bathurst, like if you got the race call as well. So Cole Hodge is in your ear and he hasn't, you're in front, you've been in front the whole way, he's never called you. And you're like, well, hang on, am I in the right race? They'd be so confused, the jockeys, wouldn't they? And here comes Dipsy Doo down the outside ripping home, he's 7 lengths behind you. Like
TB, imagine Terry Bailey. Oh, here, this thing's
oh,
lined
it's
up.
home. They'll sit up. They'll get beat 3.
Oh,
far out.
some great ideas, but maybe they need to stay parked.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of ways that we can innovate by providing better information to punters more than I think the professionals, leave it to the professionals, the jockeys and trainers and whatever they do. I think we can innovate in other ways. Speaking
of innovation, we pulled out a couple of little polls this week and left it up to the punters to decide. And there's a graphic on screen up the top. We've said, what's more important to Australian racing? Assume both have got huge liquidity, and then list some reasons below for your answer. So 53% wanted a strong fixed odds exchange of people that sort of follow us, but still a lot of support for a national tote pool. And then below that, you've got, as a punter, do you want more or less of world pool tote odds? And then list reasons again. And yes, they want more tote odds. So 55% said that they were keen for that. So that's an interesting one. For me, my takeaway from that is that they want more options. And I guess depth and liquidity in markets is something that's a positive. I was surprised that everyone sort of it got the tongues wagging a little bit with the world pool tote odds. And if we got one tote pool and had to pay an extra 2%, because it sort of ranged between 2 and 4% for the time that I looked at it, is it worthwhile to consolidate the tabs? And would you give up the other 2 TAB or make 3 become 1 if you have to pay a higher cop? But there's a couple of problems. Does it open up rebates for the bigger guys? Is the littler guy worse off? Or if you've got a healthy exchange, where favourites are sort of taken on a little bit more, and then you've got a world pool where they seem over bet, does it sort of even itself out? And all of a sudden you've got corporates, which is a strong product, you got the tote, which is a strong product, and then you got an exchange. So you get the best of everything, but you need to consolidate those 3 totes.
The only thing that's important is an exchange. The only thing is a strong exchange with the commission at closest to 0 as possible. So then you've got something that constantly has liquidity. Everyone in the industry can trade off it. They all use it their own way too. So bookies use it as a price guide because none of them have any ability to price a race. They don't do that anymore. So it feeds the whole industry. It allows people to bet back. It allows people to trade out. It allows everything possible. It's fully transparent. So all the bodies can see it rather than these offshore, whatever you want to call them, bloody exchanges. That no one has any ability to look at, whereas the World Tote Pool, as you said, is the higher commission, and that's to pay the bigger rebates to the syndicate. So you're taking on the best of the best in their own home ground where they're getting an advantage all the time with their higher rebates. So one out, the World Tote, I don't really think helps anyone, especially the smaller punter at all. As a part of a best of 3, it does, because you get the variation in prices. So If the other two totes were to remain around with a world tote, I think that would help. It would help with the exotics because obviously the pools are deeper, but yet then again, you're taking on the syndicates and everything. Whereas at the moment, the pools are so small where we're looking that I doubt they're even playing in those pools. And if they are, it's to a smaller degree. So, I don't think the world totes are a big win for the industry. I don't think it's a win at all for little punters. And if it became one tote world tote, it'd be just a straight loss for the little guys. It'd be a only help to the bigger guys. And then, but to me, it's all it's all about the fixed odds exchange and reviving it and actually treating it like what it is, a service, not a bookmaker.
DK, have you got any thoughts there, or has Walt gobbled up the lot?
No, a few thoughts. I thought Walt, he's obviously got the dark cloud hanging over him, but I thought he would have been very, very aroused by the exotic pools from the world total. I thought the story was there. I thought when there was $9.5 million in the win pools, there was $60 million in total injected through the pool for the day. So that's, less than, 9.5 million, 50 million in others. Like the place pools were nearly as big as the win pools. That was one thing that struck me. Look at the place. Some races, race 4, the place pool was bigger than the win pool. It was 750,000 the win and 950,000 in the place. That was a race where it was like $6 a field. So it's just interesting how the Hong Kong punters bet. So they love the Q, they love a Quinella, they love the duets. The duets are out of control, possibly other. So I thought that was interesting. But getting together for a national tote in our lifetime, I don't know. It would have to be when Volandes are like Mugabe or something like that. They'll have to carry him out of the joint before anything happens, and nothing's going to happen on a national basis till he's out the door. So, and just Scoot, I saw you put on the run sheet about the Betfair might have stimulated with Betfair and things like that. But the favourites, like I just wrote down a few. So Wishlaw Lass was the favourite, 3.1 on the race 1 on the tote, $5 Betfair. See You in Heaven, $2.70 on the tote, $5 Betfair. Maharaba, $2.75, $3.50. And Avisto was pretty close, $2.10, $2.30, but it pissed in. Daytona Bay, $3.15 on the tote, $4.80 Betfair. So like you had to go good odds if it didn't really affect the Betfair prices, is what I'm saying. You couldn't really lay them shorter. They SP'd what they SP'd. I mean, Coolangatta, a bloke said to me on the day, I watched the Hong Kong, they love J Carr. So I said, he said keep an eye on J Carr's runners today. So there it was, Coolangatta, 5.95 when it was $12 on Betfair. $8 per. So it was very interesting. It was interesting to watch. Don't know about the future of it, but
do we think it changes much like this Saturday and next Saturday because we've had a look at it and like sort of people sort of pay a bit of an angle and everyone was having a bit of a look on Saturday, or you think it's sort of stays the same?
It's not again this week, is it?
Is it? I don't know.
No, it's not. It was a once-off, wasn't it? It's a once-off.
We can't affect it.
Lightning
anyway.
Stakes Day.
No, I don't think it's.
So it was just last week.
Yeah, it was just last week. They've just been one-offs. Yeah, it was only a one-off. They're one-off trials. I think they did it. Lightning Stakes Day maybe 6 years ago was the last they did it, but So anyway, but. My mutual acquaintance did speak to the big Tajelko before race 1, and he said he was treating it like the turnover was going to be like Cup Day, like as in that's how much they were going to, that's how big it was going to be for them, and rebate wise and everything, they were just going to blast. So
I heard that as well.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I would have thought as a punter that's an advantage if you've got Betfair at $5 and there's $3 a tote. All of a sudden, across the options on the boards, including Betfair and the national tote, you're getting better prices all runners if there's more variation in the prices. So if the tote's unders, you still get an opportunity to back the horse on the exchange. And I don't know. I just think it's a classic example of. I think at the moment PRAs think punters aren't price sensitive, but a good example is if you're stuck in Hong Kong or over in Asia and you've only got one option, or you've got two options, I suppose. You've got the tote, and then so if you're a favourite punter, you just get absolutely jammed on every runner. So that's an awful position for a Hong Kong style punter that likes favourites. You just absolutely at the mercy of the big syndicates, depending on which way they go.
And you've got no hope of predicting the price either, because I think it's like 50% of the pool is in the last 10 seconds or something, some insane amount. Like the price fluctuates.
That's the Asian way to bet.
Yeah.
I've been over there. I've been at Malaysian races, and they're just waiting as late as they can to watch the late steam or the whatever happening on wherever that late money, clever money get. They'll be charging at the tote window or to wherever right at the death as late as they can, because they just want to get every bit of intel, every bit of betting intel out of the market, and see the right signs and bet late. That's just part of the Asian way to bet.
And then I guess the only other option they've got, if you're a Hong Kong punter, is to to bet illegally, and that becomes a money laundering and an AML and all that sort of compliance sort of risk, and then it's leakage for the for the
let's
industry.
be serious, as if everything that's happening here is not driving more people to that option. I don't know if it's...
But it's illegal. It's illegal.
That's
it's
right.
illegal
That's right. But that's the problem. That's the problem.
Can't get buckled betting on it here. You get, let's see, cast.
It is. It's ridiculous is what it is. It's crazy. They're trying to outlaw those things and they're driving everyone to it is kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. No, I think, I know what you're saying there. But, I think the 2 to 4% premium to have a United tote, that just to me smells that it paves the way for rebates, and then all of a sudden you're not on a level playing field. So if they could fix the commission and have it a little bit clearer, I think it'd work. But again, it's a lot more murky, and I just don't understand why an exchange, which is so transparent, isn't promoted.
So, like we talked to exchange is, I bet with you. So the guy in the middle does nothing. All they do is provide a website,
eBay.
They hold your money, and they pay out to the winner. That's it. How do we have to pay what's in New South Wales at the moment, a base rate of 10% just to facilitate that? It's insane.
And if there's so many bookies around, just to be able to bet and lay off as a bookmaker, well, you'd be able to take the bigger bets. So the markets have become deeper, and then you give yourself...
They become deeper earlier too,
exactly.
So it wouldn't be last
they get
5
liquid
minutes.
faster.
Yeah.
So anyway, food for thought there. Let's kick the show along. We could talk about that for an hour. The Comics Lounge, Melbourne's home of comedy. I do notice now that the Comedy Festival's starting to get closer and closer down there. Friendly Geordies have got 5 shows in April, so I'm tipping that one will sell out. That's a bloke that got Firebombs, so I think it's around the 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th in April, so make sure you check out the Comics Lounge. That's where he does his comedy. But you might have to take a bulletproof vest there as well.
Do you get that with the ticket price? Is that
What's
part
that?
of the ticket
free
price?
Bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
They've got a few in the gun, this Friendly Geordies guy. He's got a big reach on
silence.
YouTube. I think he's got 1,000 more followers than us.
I saw it.
Times-
when you mentioned him the other
times
day, he's up there,
500.
why not to play pokies and stuff. He gets right into everyone. I like it.
Tell you what's not doom and gloom's the Don. The Bopper last week, it was an easy watch. He went 3 from 3 through the syndicate. He's absolutely on fire. He's a winning machine at the moment, the Donny, which is great to see. And Randwick this week for you, J-Dubs, improving soft 7.
Yeah,
Is it raining again there, is it?
Pardon?
Big dump during the week?
Yeah, dump it a bit. That's perfect. Early in the week, stop some watering the track, hopefully. So I'm happy with any sort of rain early, that 2 or 3 days out clear. All these tracks should dry in that sort of time this time of year, so it should be perfect.
Is that why you left Sydney? Because it rained so much, or we ran out of town?
No, too much doom and gloom. You wouldn't believe it, would you?
What's that?
Too much doom and gloom for me. It was the home of doom and gloom.
Nico's got Sandown, Blue Diamond. This is a really weird sort of scenario, isn't it? Some of the races are on Lakeside. I think it's all the 14.
It's 2 on the hillside, I think.
Yeah. So that
with the additional winning post.
And then you got that for the 1100s or the different winning posts. Yeah.
and then the 1800 metre races on Hillside.
I think that's why the Oakleigh Plate's the last race. Because you have to move a lot of camera gear and
gotcha.
photo finish stuff.
That's
so that
still
would
good.
make
That's
sense.
what they like, though. They like having the big turnover race late in the yard. That's
going to be a big finish.
Peak wagering time. Big finish.
3 Group 1s to end the day.
Yeah, I saw that. Good on them. MRC, man. See, they're providing free public transport and everything. Yeah, public transport is on us. I just saw their ad this morning. MRC, just blanks being those blokes. They just got the right idea, haven't they? Just looking after the fan and the punter as best they can.
I will throw one rock. They should just have it all on the hillside for simplicity. Like, finding a winner is hard enough as is. To have some on the lakeside and then some on the hillside's crazy.
There's got to be a reason for it.
Well, no, I know that. I think they can't have the 1800 metre races on the other track because they start on a bend, and then if you're going to have a couple of races like on the hillside, just have the lot, because as a punter, flipping and flopping is no good.
I don't mind a bit of flip flop.
Hey,
What are you talking about?
I reckon that's just brutal.
Oh, it's the same as having a shoot race and a bend race, and
that's right. We have them
it
every
makes
day
much
with
sense.
shoot races and stuff.
Yeah, I
Shoot races are like being on a different track.
I think you're dooming and glooming this. I think there's nothing wrong. I think
Is this the doom and gloom episode?
This is the doom and
We're
gloom.
trying to be
You've gone
positive.
too
up
far.
there it is. Up there it is. Up there. What's wrong with the water up there at the moment?
It's Mexican racing anyway, so no one really cares at the end of the day. They could run around bloody, Dapto dogs. It wouldn't make any difference. Bloody Group 1s down there.
TopSport Steamers are back in business. $15 winner, Wollongby. The Sydney form is just too good.
I forgot that was a steamer. I was like, and then that was good because I was like, about 2 minutes before the race, I'm like, how the hell is this horse this price? It's just
Too good.
because
Did it come off Kembla or somewhere or something like that?
one in midweek in town. I think it was the last
midweek
one
in
back.
town. It's a tried and true test of that improving 3-year-old staying type off a low sort of benchmark wind coming down here. They do it all the time.
Well, the weird part was that Royal Merchant was like a third of its price, and it had come out of ordinary Wednesday form earlier, so it was they sort of tied in a bit.
TopSport are located on the Gold Coast. They got the new app and mobile site, so make sure you check that out. Tristan loves to take a bet, and they're Oz owned, which is the best part. None of that money goes offshore, so that's what we're about here, trying to support the industry. Nico, Sandown's up first, $25 a week if you want Nico's stuff. You get a discount if you support him through to the end of the fin year. Maharaba, that was an absolute beauty. Nico, what'd they bet?
Well found, Nico. Loves his 2-year-old trialers, Nico. Loves him.
$8.
Yeah, that was one on the World Tote that was smashed.
It ran, I got it here, it ran 275.
Like,
What, you were tipping it at $7 or something, were you?
yeah, we were $5.50 earlier in the week,
$5.50.
$6. So
Well, you got it right because you potted the Godolphin thing. It was express, and your thing was a steamer.
I love .com there. $17 or whatever it was. Wallenby and the big headlights, bold colours. Next race $2.75. When the other one it's $4 everywhere. Oh, no mention. You wouldn't believe that. No mention of the global tote price for old Maharaja.
Oh, Global Tote. Remember Global Tote? Who was that old mate from the punting show? Who's that?
Mate, he's kicked. They're the ones who've kicked.
Dallas.
They're the ones
Dallas.
who kicked beyond reproach. They went broke 37 times, flummed a bloody license somewhere, and kicked beyond the moon. Good on
Got
them.
to keep trying. Just keep kicking. It is a sick one. That's a prime example. Okay, think Maharaba's the horse you want to be on, and I'm just sitting there in my suite in Hong Kong, and I just sit there and I just see the price all week just go off, and then bang, I just cop it $2.75.
Yeah, they're used to it, mate. That's what they do every day they bet in Hong Kong. That's what they're used to.
But you feel good because
Just
you're
happy
back the
to-
winner.
Happy to back the winner, collect. That's it. Because they're all steaming the same horses. They're looking for the steamer. They all tune into the same thing and just man, imagine us. We'd be broke. We wouldn't last. No, they're all wrecks. So, it's only the pros of the syndicates there.
XD Payne, eh? One start D Payne, one start new stable.
well.
Plus camp there. Big plus camp, I would have thought. G-Beg. Goes good.
I think
G-Beg.
he's going back up to Sydney, that horse now. So
Is he?
whether he chases a slipper or something like that, not sure he's up to that grade looking at the figures and the data, but maybe
green.
something a bit lower.
No, he's green as grass by the look of him. Blue Diamond Stakes. Let's have a look at the market here, courtesy of TopSport. Make sure you get around them this weekend. Steel City, $4.20. In from $6, Barber, $5. DK's been there this week. Little Bros, $8.50. Brave Halo, 11 into $8.50. The Instructor, this is one of Waltzy's horses, $9. Don Corleone, $9.50. Beware the Snowden Quiet One, and then bang into the grand final. Exploring, $13. Party for 2, not to be confused with Party for 1. $17.
Jesus Christ.
Isn't that a great? Yeah, $17 for Nikita Berryman, who's looking to pay for a new pool. VC, $18 the figure, $21. Sensical, $26. Extreme Threat, $31. Arkansas Kid, $41. Dasonic Boom, $67. And we'll probably drop off the rest of those. But
Just hold on, Scoot.
hello.
Just hold on.
Wait, what?
All right, before we go to what Nico, let's guess what Nico's tipping here. All right, now, Nico, does it have a little bit of blue in the colours? A little bit. Yes or no? Yes or no?
A lot of blue.
Little bit. Yes or no?
No.
A little bit. Does it have more than half blue? Is it all blue?
All blue.
It is. There we go. All right, Nico's tipping the all blue.
In the Carlton jumper, what a surprise.
He's never been to one in his life, by the way.
All right, tee up the replay.
Okay, this is the horse you like, Zulfika.
Oh, it's the wrong one. I thought it was the top one.
Oh, it's the other one.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Stablemate.
In blue.
We're good at finding the wrong Godolphin horse in a blue diamond. I'll give you the tip. But I think this is an underrated lead up. I think VC and Zulfika come out of this, and I think they're probably going to be two horses that are better suited to 1,200 metres and probably onto firmer ground. VC sort of heads Zulfika here, and he sort of kicks back and beats him. The last sort of 100, he's
Only hands and heels. Pulls a stick in the last.
getting away from him. Even through the line, he's really getting away from him. So I don't think VC necessarily handled the track that day. It was a soft 6, but it kind of rated worse early in the card and then improved. So I think VC is going to be a big tick getting back onto dry ground. But this horse, Zulfika, like if he had drawn a better gate, I think he'd be much more in contention in the market. But bar his one average run at Flemington, where I don't think he necessarily handled the track. He was all at sea and Buick was on him. His other 2 runs when Mallon's rode him has been great. He had the blinkers go on last start, as we saw in that replay. He's really strong late. Run the quicker closing last 200 metre split to the meeting. on debut, he ran the fastest last 200 metre split of the meeting on Turnbull Stakes Day. And I think that's the best part of his work. He's a horse who's a leader who's just coming away from him late. Like that's looking at his sectional profile, the best part of his race is the last 200, which is rare for a leader. I think he's just got a lot of substance, this horse. So seeing him in the yard last start, he definitely improved from the spring to the autumn. I think he's a real forgotten horse. He's definitely the best on speed horse. It's a pretty deep race. Like, you know, his stablemate Barber, Steel City, they're definitely in it, but I sort of thought at sort of $26, he's hard to knock at this price. Given this prelude, it didn't rate through the roof. I think Barber, the winner here, just sort of looming up in the blue cap, definitely has the most improvement to take out of the race from a fitness point of view. So he'll be cherry ripe there for Saturday. Brave Halo didn't have a lot of luck in behind him. Little Bro sort of comes at him late. Brave Halo's probably taken out of play a bit for this race just because of the map. He's probably going to have to get a long way back, and I'd have a question mark at him over 1,200. So the only horse I kind of wanted to take out of that lead up was the winner, Barber. He's coming into this unbeaten, which I think you got to probably put some credit to, given the favourite's never won a race, Steel City. So how much sort of emphasis you put on that. But yeah, I thought his last start win was good, Barber. He probably maps to get just a run in behind the speed. But the way I was kind of looking to play the race is probably back in Zulfika and VC. I think both are over the odds and sort of around $21, both of them. I think you can probably have something small maybe each way on those two, and I think they're going to give you a big sight. But pretty even year for the Diamond. I think the 2-year-olds are handy. I think there's some good horses in here. I think it's a stronger year than last year. But yeah, I think you could run this race a few different times and get a different winner.
And I saw there is an article on .com actually on your horse. They make an article for a 25 to 1 chance. It was 20 to 1 or something, isn't it? When Malum says he's flying under the radar and he's going to run really well, they took him as Cummings does, tick all the boxes, took him to Sandown on Tuesday for the gallop, said that they worked together. Malum said there wasn't nothing between them, no work, so it's just going to be, he said, I'm going forward. He relaxes, so that 2-year-old send him forward, they can pull. And that was my thing, sort of, sometimes when they're going up to 1,200 from a wide draw, it's different to coming up to 1,200 with the economical run from a low draw, but he said he'll come back underneath him. He's second prep, which I like. Big tick second prep seasoning.
He's strong, isn't he?
And he's strong.
Even you watch his replays.
So he's going to give you a sight, Nico. Yep. No.
Yeah, I think he's a great value chance. He's probably the best value chance in the race. I think VC will really improve on the dry. Don Corleone,
Aussie's back. Cool and Gatta. He was just telling me how down and out he was, and horses dying, and everything's going to turn into shit. He had about 12 seconds in a row. There it was. Cool and Gatta wins the Group 1 for him.
Well, right camp, isn't it? Mar Eustace. Like they're two horses at 20s and 21, and you got Godolphin and Mar Eustace. You got Malum and Brown. They're both flying. I think they're right in play. They're probably the two best of the rougher chances for mine. I think Barber's probably the most likely winner. Steel City's got talent. She gets the blinkers on for the first time. She gets B shin. She gets a lot of ticks. But
Instructor, is it? What do you make of it?
I don't think he'd run 1,200. I think the pressure for the front will really sort of find him out. I was hoping he'd be short and I'd really sink the boots into him. But at $9, he's...
Didn't the jump out in between runs against Anavisto didn't sway you at all? It looked all right.
No, I thought it was average, to be honest. He was under the pump. His action kind of went. Wouldn't be surprised.
His first prep.
I wouldn't be surprised if that trial was an indication that he's towards the end of his prep.
Enough. Yep.
Just how weak he was late. So even sort of year, I think but Barber's probably your most likely winner, but I don't think there's that much value at the price. I did mark him favourite, but Zafika and VC for me just at the odds.
I'm just going to say 3 words to you, Nico. 1,000 metre Island. What do you think about Zulfika? We haven't seen him pass. Like, does that worry you just a little? I know the way he won, and you just explained that he looked good. Blah blah blah. Done it really easily, but he's never been tested beyond. He's had 3 runs at 1,000 metres. Didn't we have a show called 1,000 Metre Island? And you just got to put 1,000 metre. Oh, DK just says that he doesn't wipe his ass with 1,000 metre form, and then here we have a 1,200 metre race, and that makes me nervous.
Well, there's no 1,200 metre form, so it's all 1,000 or 1,100 metre form. So the way he's strong at the end of his 1,000 metre races and in low pressure races, I think he'll just be better in a faster run race. So I'm saying 1,000 to 1,200 for him probably isn't as big a worry, say, for a horse like the Instructor, who sort of got out in front, led, and is really sort of empty at the end of it. He's strong at the end of 1,000. He's run one of the quickest splits of the meeting last up at the end of 1,000 metres. So
it's in the data. It's in the punting form data, Scoot.
Love it.
And he's 20-1, so you can take the risk.
I agree. Okay. So I'm going to ask you about a Sydney horse now, Mr. Walter.
Yeah.
Don Corleone. He had a bump with this horse that looks like a bloody giraffe, this Cafe Millennium or whatever, at the start of the race. So they just basically come out of the barriers, a bit like you and DK, bang, like bumped into each other. And Snowden on grand final day, I think he can sit closer from barrier 3. He's got Zara. What do you think about that horse as a horse?
So its first start obviously had a lot of room to move sat wide, just rounded him up very strong. The other day, everything went the wrong way. Wasn't the same horse. If the horse that showed up its first start, he's one horse that does look like 1,200 metres, will not be an issue. And like you said, soft draw, lot going in its favour. Is it the secondary form, that horse that he beat of Gaze its first start? Is he anywhere near up sort of to the red resistance level? I'd say no. But I think $9 or whatever it is well and truly fair enough. I just think that I think the two horses that can win the slipper I've seen is Learning to Fly, Red Resistance. Steel City's running to both of them. 2 1,100 metre runs. If it runs 1,200 metres, I think it just gaps them.
Who?
Steel City.
No way. That's the horse that bloody
gaps
the
them.
McLeods had going for a stack in our bloody
that's right.
Gold Coast Magic the Insta and it got beaten
or whatever. So let's run into Red Resistance, who looks like a goddamn jet, and Learning to Fly, who is a jet. Ran up to it the other day and sort of peaked. Blinkers. They got shin, blinkers. Best form I've ever seen for a race like this. Just has to run 1,200 metres. If it runs 1,200, it wins.
Jesus Christ.
All that Melbourne form looks like crap. Barber's form in Sydney is nowhere near as good. Crap. Steel City gaps them.
Nico, Earth to Nico, are you there? This is C-Mar D. Eustace. You love this camp.
I hate him with 2-year-olds, but this horse just has a red jacket.
It's got a red jacket on and blinkers first time. Oh, whoa.
It's a good chance. Like you look at her form. I think Red Resistance at the moment is probably the top seed for the Golden Slipper of what we've seen. And then she bumped into Learning to Fly, who obviously backed up that form in the English race. She gets the blinkers on. She gets B shin. Like, there's a lot of ticks for her. My slight knock would be the end of 1,200. She hasn't been the strongest at the end of her races, but I would think she brings in potentially better form. But I'm probably just leaning away from her at the price. If she was sort of $6 or $7.
Or if she was wearing blue colours.
Maybe if she was in Aussie's colours, we'd be more inclined to fight her.
I'd take Evans, Learning to Fly, or Red Resistance here, and that's kind of the line I'm taking.
Wow.
And I agree, 1,200 is the thing. If it runs 1,200, it wins, but and you're getting $4.20 to see whether it runs 1,200.
And the market's already labelled her. Like, she's been 6 into 420. She's the only horse that backed.
What? Really?
Yeah. So
Jeez.
I think she'll start clear favourite.
Has to.
No shot. I probably got a third or fourth pick, like her and Barber, but I thought VC and Zafika will give you a good side at odds. And it's probably, of the horses in the market, it's probably between her and Barber.
So what you're trying to tell me is the backside of Steel City with 100 to go is a good site.
Hopefully VC's charging her late.
Yeah, no, it's a good race. I love
interesting.
the Blue Diamond at Caulfield. It's the one race that I love when it's run at Caulfield. I hate that it's been run here.
That might help the SF. Remember the old first time around?
Yeah.
Caulfield was always a trick. So it might help them on the bigger, spacious track.
But isn't this the tighter one, the Lakeside? This is a tighter turning one, isn't it? So I thought the speed horses are in better nick here at the 1,200.
Good draws is what I was told. Wide draws is big trouble here. That's what I was told. Yeah.
So I look at Nico's thing, 15. Draw 15. But I love the price. I love shopping outside the market. It's beautiful.
I think you'll get like OSL or one out, one back.
Mellum's going forward.
Hopefully.
The horse that I thought was a knockout chance was Arkansas Kid. He gets a better draw. He got flattened last start and 40.
He's a complete wild card.
40 to 1.
Complete wild card.
Beautiful. He's had the float up and back. He might be tougher. And who knows?
That's Hawks?
Nah, Hayes.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, it's casting.
Why?
Don't know.
No, Dwayne Dunn and the Hawks used to always Hayes
Caulfield.
always used to win the Blue
Caulfield.
Diamond.
That was the last winner I backed, Slick Chassis.
Slick shot.
Yeah.
Just kept
D-Dunn.
whatever D-Dunn was on, he'd win at 20s, 50s, 40s.
I remember the hole I was on at Concord Golf Club the day it won. I was carrying the big transistor around and I dead set smashed it. I was that excited. I smashed the transistor. I threw it. Yeah, it was very exciting.
Little Bro's blinkers on was interesting, and Brave Halo's got barrier 16 and poor old Ollie.
Next race.
Okay, good.
There's a couple you haven't mentioned, Stuart. Still go. That's 17 horses.
No,
how many are left?
People are doing quaddies and stuff. It's a quaddie leg, so I'm just trying to put the top 6 in.
Is it a cross quaddie? Do you have to take 2 different quaddies because they're 2 different tracks?
I've got no idea. That would be a good idea.
Well, there's definitely cross races in the quaddie.
All right, no replays here. We'll just look at the market, and we've got a viewer question actually. I'm Thunderstruck $3 here. Alligator Blood, Walty's horse $3.90. Mr. Brightside $5. One of DK's Nugget $5.50. My Oberon $10. Law of Indices $15. Aegon $17. And Mr. Mozart's been spec 21 into $17. And we've got a viewer question here. This is from Trent. He says, it's to do with I'm Thunderstruck. It's for everyone. And he says, I was looking through his form earlier and he's one win from his last 11 or 12. To me, he always profiles terribly, but punters still seem to fall into him. Is he a non-winner? I hate to say it, but I think this horse has got plenty of talent, albeit a horrible racing pattern. Should be going better than one win from their past 11 starts. Is he a nonny, DK, I'm Thunderstruck?
Of course he's not. I mean, he's looking at his own stats in isolation there. What did he say? He's 7 from 21 overall. 12 in the top 2 out of 21. And he's a line finder, so he just needs a bit of race shape and a bit of stuff. He's not like Alligator Blood getting out the front and stuff like that. That's not his pattern. He's a little bit tricky to ride, but oh shit. Well,
you look at his form. He ran second in the All-Star Mile. He's stiff not to get a lot closer to Zaki. Mr. Brightside got him on the line in the Doncaster. That's second in 2 Group 1s. Second in the Memsey. Won the Mackay, and then his runs last prep, second to Animo in the Caulfield Stakes, second to him in the Cox Plate. Dead set. If Animo's not around, he's probably our weight for age star. I'm Thunderstruck.
It's different when you're talking about nonnies racing in ordinary grade and not past horses, and you're talking about racing the best of the best in the best races every start.
And pack animals. Well, nonnies are pack animals, aren't they? The old Tom Melbourne and stuff like that, who run up to him but won't run past him. He's proven he'll run past him or go with him, but he's a proper horse.
He's far from bomb-proof, but he's dead set not a nonny. Yeah.
Just when you think, I'm Thunderstruck, cherry ripe to go, second up, he's got Lakeside, and now he's got Barrier 3. So he actually is a horse that is better off building momentum, building his revs drawn wide. You'd love to see him in 7, 8 or wider, wouldn't you, DK? Out wider than 3.
Yeah, that's right. But now it's what are they? The rider changed this prep, so it's JK
taking the crossover noseband off. She said he might have resented it last start.
Right, so there you go. Yeah,
she's getting a feel for the horse
and the market. Even though I think you were against it because people are heavily in Jackano's corner the other day, but the market still respected him, didn't they? He still started favourite, and
he's been well backed again early here.
So the market he's a proper horse, but. Yeah, but I think he's not as scary to lay as Alligator Blood is, if you're a layer or stuff like that,
Oh, you'd rather lay him here than Alligator Blood.
Alligator Blood's going to be leading till the 50-metre mark or something. You just know that.
Will he need the run, though, the Blood?
He'll improve a lot.
So, yes, that's a yes. Nico, you've seen a few of these in the yard. Mr. Brightside got lots of improvement. My Oberon looked like the wild card to me.
I think Thunderstruck will peak 3rd up or 4th up, so I'm kind of risking him again on Saturday. I think he just has too much improvement to come, the way the map is and the price.
What's his grand final for the autumn?
Well, it's probably the All-Star Mile.
It is the All-Star Mile.
So that's next start. Same as Alligator Blood. So I think they're both probably horses that are, 2nd or 3rd up, into those grand final races. They're going to be sort of right there. My Oberon's going to be spotting a big head start, and then what else is in the race? Aegon couldn't get past him last start. You'd be sort of thinking that's similar here. Mr. Brightside's the same, probably All-Star Mile. So it kind of just leaves you with Nugget. He's just going to probably land outside lead, maybe 1 out, 1 back. And if he runs up to his last start, Thunderstruck might not be able to catch him from the draw, especially around Lakeside. And if Alligator Blood's got a chink in his armour late and he's sort of fallen in a bit of a hole the last 50, he's probably the horse, Nugget. But he's probably not the weight for age class of the other two, but
might be right race, right, just the right time.
He's full on here to win. So he was probably the way I'd lean in a bit of a tricky race. Yeah, I could probably back Alligator Blood and Nugget. I think if Alligator Blood's close enough in the yard from a fitness point of view, he's definitely right in the race, and I'd still have him favourite in my market. But I'm Thunderstruck looks pretty short at $3. Obviously the class horse, but he's going to need a lot in his favour, especially at the Lakeside.
Well, a horse that I thought was one for probably quaddies was Mr. Mozart. I thought he...
That's right. What the hell was that run the other day?
I think
it was insane.
They just gave it a run.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. And he does need to come up. That's his problem. And gate 1, does he miss the kick again and end up last and he's completely out of play, or does he possibly lead and run a cheeky race?
Has he got the class to win that?
No, I don't think so.
He's just out of his depth a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. His running the other day was weird. Enormous. It sort of grazed up that whole form out of that race, but it was very good. I actually thought Mr. Brightside was the one he's had the run over Alligator Blood. I thought the ride first up was horrible. He just completely gave him none. Sprinted up late and was coming over the top of all of them pretty much. I thought if they ride him properly this time and follow Alligator Blood across, he gets a bit of cover from someone. He's going to be in front of I'm Thunderstruck, and he's only got to run down Alligator Blood, he's got the run over. So if he's ever going to win another race at this level, I thought this was it for Mr. Brightside, just because second up 1400s his go. I don't think he can beat him over a mile in that big race. I think this is his chance in life.
I think you make a little bit of sense there, but the market just looks a bit cramped for me to play at this stage. Sandown race 9, we're going to have a look at the Oakleigh Plate. Absolute corker to finish the quaddie leg. Asphora is favourite here, $5.50. I Am Me, $5.50. Chain of Lightning, $8. $9 Star Patrol, Lofty Strike, $9.50. King of Sparta, $10. Uncommon James, $11. Zapateo, $16. Masked Crusader, $21. Zoo Style, $26. Marine, $126. Lombardo, $34. The Astrologist, $34. Rockin' Horse, $41. And Much Better the rest. I think we're going to have a look at the Rubiton here. And Lofty Strike wins the race. You got Chain of Lightning, the grey, getting held up. You got Oxley Road making all out in front. Uncommon James is sort of poised to strike there, getting a nice little run. Nico, which way are you going here?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the horse as well back in this race, Uncommon James. He started $2.80 here. He was off the map. I think in an Oakleigh Plate, there's going to be every chance a horse like Lofty Strike is a lot further back than what he was here. They went pretty slow relative to the class, to the 600-metre mark here, and I think that sort of advantage of a horse like Lofty Strike being so close in the run to Uncommon James, I think the back mark is going to be a long way off. And just looking at this race shape, they only went 4.5 lengths above to the 600. I'd be predicting they go at least sort of 8.5 to the 600 here. So I think that faster run race will actually suit Uncommon James. I think you're going to want a horse that can run a strong 1,200 metres. It's a real uphill rise at 1,100. So, in previous years where you can sort of lead and scoot away in the Oakleigh Plate, you're going to be very vulnerable late. So these horses like, Asphora, who's got a lot of 1,000-metre form, I Am Me, who's going to probably settle on speed. I think, the strong 1,200-metre horses are going to have a real crack at him late, and I think that's him. Like, his best performance so far has been in 1,200-metre races. His win that day at Caulfield was dominant. I know he didn't beat much, but the clock backed him up and suggesting this is a good horse. From 14, he just stays out of trouble. Thompson gets back aboard, which is probably a negative from D Lane, but he knows the horse. So I thought he should probably be shorter, and I think he's probably the one that's going to be suited to the fast, high pressure of this race. I was very surprised. He's $11, and I think the market probably comes through him on the day. TK,
you don't want to put your 2 bobs worth in? Not interested?
No. Well, there'll be a spectator for me. What's that? An open handicap, Group 1, $6 a field. That'll be watch the spectacle for me.
Yeah, I just thought with, given it is $6.
Well, he's 10 to 1. What's yours?
Yeah, he's $11.
$11.
Well, he's not favourite in the lead-up. And I think that is a good lead-up because Asfura's coming out of... She's got very questionable form. I have no doubt she has talent and she's run some strong enough figures to suggest she could win an Oakleigh Plate, but I just thought at $5.50, she was easy enough to be against. I Am Me is bringing in some strange sort of Sydney form. It's hard to line up. She gets Jamie Carr. She's definitely in the race, but I couldn't back her at $5.50. I was sort of thinking it's probably Uncommon James and Star Patrol who have had a look at the course and distance. Both ran well. Star Patrol had a lot of improvement to come. He does get the glue on shoes, which is probably a knock, but I think that's factored into his price early. So they were probably the 2 for me. Lofty Strike's definitely in play. That was a huge first up win. If he can still represent and rattle off that sprint, which he did first up off a faster tempo, he's a proper horse, but we're going to find out on Saturday. I was thinking the Rubiton's probably the lead up, and I think the winner might come out of that race, and if it doesn't, it's probably Star Patrol. Sort of taken on Asphora, I Am Me. Couldn't believe King of Sparta was, $8? Some places he's $10 at TopSport. He should be 30 off his recent form, I thought. So, yeah, Uncommon James, maybe 1 by 3 or something like that. I think he's going to give you a big sight at the price.
What about the blue colours ripping down the outside first up?
Well, you look at her, her run against Asphora, where she probably should have beat her, and she's $16 and Asphora's favourite. Buick off.
It's
Nico off blue as well.
I thought its trial was ridiculous. Obviously, the gate where it gets to, if it drew low and you knew it was going to land sort of midfield and bottled up a bit, I think she'd be really dangerous. She's probably going to need a little bit more luck from the draw. But
I think in a normal Oakleigh Plate, she'd be right in the race. This is super strong for an Oakleigh Plate. Even I think Masked Crusader's probably in the game if you can get back and really run on. His jump out was good. It's probably suited better to a handicap than Wait for Age conditions, I would have thought, given he might not have the class to beat him at Wait for Age. So, yeah, deep race. I think Uncommon James will come out and be one of the better horses out of the race, maybe over 1,400 metres, but I think you're going to want a horse who can run a strong 1,200 given it's an uphill run and they're going to go quick. So he looks the horse to me that's a bit bomb-proof at the price.
He looks the horse. If he can jump, I think he has problems just getting away, doesn't he?
He has a lot of problems.
He has a lot of problems.
When he doesn't have problems, he's got an engine.
He's got a big engine. I thought Lofty Strike was the real good horse here. Strong 1,200 metre horse. I think this is your man, and this is a horse that they put in the Rubiton because the horse is just going enormous and just going far too well, and you just saw his devastating finish. I know Chain of Lightning was probably entitled to go close to him that day with no luck, but this horse could be
just got more upside for mine Lofties than Chain of Command or Chain of Lightning or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Well, he burst on the scene and he thought, "Oh wow, how good's this horse?" And then I think he had a setback. It was just maybe not quite 100%, and then his runs in the Coolmore Stud and Champion Sprint were good. Now he's just come back and gone bang and put the writing on the wall. If he can replicate that, I think I can't believe that he's sort of around the $10 price. I'd have him much shorter than that. He's definitely going to be a bet for me, Lofty Strike, and a little mental health bet on Masked Crusader. But I'm happy to have a real good swing at that $10 Lofty Strike. I think can't believe the price, actually.
Is that all Melbourne? Can I just ask you about a couple of horses because I just like it and just want to put him on the spot? Yeah,
Jesus
here we go.
Christ,
New segment.
Well,
died, whatever. She's just an interesting horse down there. She's like $5, whatever. Nothing too exciting. What about Espiona, the horse that sucks my brain every time it goes around? Small field. Thought it was just an absolute shocker from Willie first up. Just sits back to this time 1,400 and goes bang. Any thought there?
Deep race. It's like 480 the field. Tora Jean Pride of Jenny, they're probably the horse you got to catch. She's full on in play. I think on the dry track, the way the race shape works out, she just could have a better turn of foot than a few of them.
Exactly what I thought.
If she runs up to her second up run last prep, I think she'd be right in the game. She just can be extremely inconsistent.
That's it. This is last chance in life. D-Day. And what about another Team Waller? I'm Team Waller. The Mighty Surefire just had the little look around first up, straight to 1,800, perfect draw. I thought he was very dangerous on Saturday.
J Car.
Yeah, in the game for sure. Has the big spruik on him last prep. Got a turn of foot. Maybe they've just trained him a bit different this prep, thinking he might not be a full-on stayer. Australian Cup might be a race they're really looking at, so that's only going to be third up. So second up, he might be ready to fire. And Gold Trip and Emissary are 1-2 in the market, and they're coming back off Melbourne Cup runs. So there's definitely an angle there.
J-Car Barrier Force is beautiful for that.
Yeah, that race was perfect. That little Animo Barrier trial first up where they come home 10 above or something stupid, and it was just not even knocked around, and even not knocked around, it was sort of still going with him. That last 200, I think he's very dangerous on Saturday Surefire.
He's left off the only blue colours as well. Spacewalk.
He's on my list. He's on my list. Spacewalk
hasn't even mentioned.
He's on my list. Look, recommendation and Spacewalk, but I cut that race. I just thought recommendation went like a rocket to Canterbury, but it was Canterbury leader. Spacewalk just going to lob right behind him, and I love that trial since the last start. I love when Cummings does that.
The trial was elite, yeah.
To take short price, a bit quirky. He's got some tricks, doesn't he?
No, not really. I think he's all right now. I've forgiven him all these quirks now.
Well, I don't mind Rich Fortune in that race.
Yeah, he'll run a nice 4th or 5th or something. It'd be all right. You should stand it out for 4th or 5th in the exotics. It'd be good.
Might be in the Lakeside quaddie numbers.
You could, put it in the Lakeside, not the through. I had a good look at that race. I didn't think they were much good, the Melbourne horses.
Beautiful. All right, Walt is now going to have a look at Randwick. He was on fire last week. Cylinders. All over cylinders, and the market was too. $5 into $4.
What do you think of the ride on King's Gambit there, Nico?
I don't want to talk about it.
Why?
I'm not having a go at you. I've never seen anything like it. It was inexplicable.
It was honestly baffling. Like, Nash is my favourite jockey, but
is he still?
Because he kicks up to make Timmy work early. Okay, you're told to look for cover. So why did you jam it for the first 200 to make Platinum Jubilee lead? And then as soon as it got there, he said, "Oh, sorry, it's time to reverse park, brother. I'm out of here." What the hell was that? That was terrible.
In the steward's report, it said that he was instructed to ride with cover.
He said, that was what they wanted to do or whatever. Yeah, exactly.
But, like, look at the map. Where was the horse ever going to get cover? Like, unless it went back to last. Like, that was just unachievable.
The only cover that it was used was the cover of the tactics. Well, the cover if I was told to find cover.
He definitely found cover, and you'd probably have...
He did find cover.
No, he did. He did find cover. He found cover between the 400 and the 300 metre mark in the straight, when if he had to turn left... it was all just clear running, and it was a straight line. Like, was he just staying in the slipstream for just that bit too long?
Maybe he thought Abdullah was going to be really weak late on cylinders, and he was going to get over the top of him. I don't know. Maybe he was slipstreaming.
It should have been the other way. Like, he was going to be weaker late than cylinder. Everyone knew that. He should have wanted to be in front, or at least a stable. Like, they should have wanted to be second, having to catch Platinum Jubilee, and that was it. Like, and then if cylinder has a crack and a slate, he has a crack. It just completely balls it up. All involved there. So
I've not seen many rides
wouldn't
like
be shocked if he turned the tables.
That was another question from one of our viewers. How did you think Tim rode?
Off the day, he didn't do anything really wrong. Obviously, Afcabin slipped out, and then Abdullah sort of kicked up to make him push and whatever. What was he going to do? I don't think he did anything too wrong. Would he like that one over again? Absolutely. But after it slipped at the start, his hands were tied to a certain point. I didn't think he did much wrong on the day. Watching reviews and things, and I'm pretty I know I love the bloke, but
this will give Nico a horn. Cummings said because he had the bit of the tough run there, Afcabin, and they said how did he pull up, James? How did he pull up? He said scary how well it pulled up off that run.
Well, it didn't go any good. So
yeah, but he said it was he said a tough run. He said scary how well it's pulled up.
It might have gone all right for a 1200. It didn't go well for a mile.
Yeah, I don't know what he keeps spruiking it, doesn't he? There's a lot of stallion quotes in there.
Oh, yeah, true.
And that's the problem, isn't it? That's the problem.
Yeah.
And he has become more like that, James, whereas once upon a time, you could tell that was never part of his thought process. Now it's certainly, he's very wary of it.
It's definitely a forgive run, but
how much
out to a mile? It's like
all the others are caught up to him now.
Yeah.
And what was that race? Like, it was a pretty putrid race overall. Was it that maybe the elliptical form was and the
better. Problem with that race is they're just going to race each other again because the Australian Guineas is on the same day. So unless Attrition doesn't get into the Australian Guineas, he might go. Apart from that, it's just going to be them again. So
all right, race 7 at Randwick, we're going to have a look at here. We're just going to go market only, I think, on this. No, we're going to have a look at the replay. Make Walt torture him once again. In Secret's a favourite, $2.05. Zagotcha, $5. Sunshine in Paris, $8.50. Ruthless Dame, $15. She's a Belter, $16. Fireburn, $18. Madame Pomeroy, $19. North Star Lass, $21. Don't worry about the rest. And the light fingers we're going to have a look at. Key lead up here, 1,200 metres.
The really weird thing about this race is it's basically rinse repeat except for 12 to 1,400. They've all basically drawn the same gates. He's going to, if he jumps or she jumps in Secret, it's going to be in the absolute ideal position, similar position again. The key to this is just how big Nash is kidding to them. And I think it ran like the third or fourth fastest last 200 of the day, even though it looks like it was sort of under pressure for the win. I just think it was just an excellent ride, and I actually expected it to be more Afcabin odds when I saw the odds. I thought it'd be sort of $1.70, something like that. I was surprised to see sort of $2.25. So my horse that I do love is Sunshine in Paris, but I think that was her chance in life to beat it. I think the only way it could beat it here is if they rode it a pair further back and tried to tag it and come from behind in Secret. Not many horses can come from behind in Secret and beat it. I think Jacquinot's the only horse to do it so far, and that was a funny race, the Golden, whatever the hell it's called, the Golden Rose,
Gold Gift,
Golden Rose, Golden Gift, Golden. They've got that many of them. You couldn't back Sue Gotcha off a bit of a setback chasing this first up from an awkward draw, and then the others have all got to overcome. Probably Madame Pomeroy's the one most likely to, but even it sort of peaked the other day. I expect the others to go forward. I thought a lot more love at 40s, drawn low, sort of scooting for inside runs and closing off. Was the horse that goes in exotics and whatever it is, $10 a place or something, was the one that just looked the wrong price, but I think in Secret will win.
Thought Madame Pomeroy could improve.
Yeah, it can improve, but it sort of knocked up the other day, which to me says it's going to knock up again, potentially at the end of 1,400 here. So how's it going to run past in Secret? Unless it misses the start. So like Sunshine in Paris, they've found it now. I was just a little bit surprised that it wasn't a little bit shorter in Secret. It's pretty dominant.
So Sunshine in Paris isn't Winks anymore?
No, I think she is. It's just fifth run, first prep. I just think, if you gave it to a trainer and gave it a spell now and put it away, I understand what they're doing. Chasing, it's hard to say no to running in these races, but it's very hard to overcome the grounding the other horses have in the experience and give that to them, plus trying to tackle them in these sorts of races. I think whatever it does here, it's a chance of gutting the horse And if she beats them now, she is Winx.
So it's still on the table there.
Winx is a big thing. She's just a very, very, very good horse. And when you say Winx, I could say Winx a horse that just continues to find the line. Even last start, she looked like she was sort of cast at the 200, and she's still chasing her balls off the last 200 metres. So I wouldn't swap Sunshine in Paris for any horse in the race if I could own them.
Randwick race 8, Chipping Norton Group 1, 1,600 metres. Animo, Nico, $1.65. Fangirl, $7.50. Mwanga, DK's horse, $11. Hinged, $11. Montefilia, $18. Laws of Indices, $19. El Bogodog, $19. Knight's Order. Wasn't it a revelation last spring? $31. Hoyter, $34. Benno, $41. Apahero and Stockman out the gate. Nico, I think we're comrades actually. You pronounce horses worse than I do, so Nico, yeah, he absolutely slaughters nearly every horse out there. That's a bit tricky.
I always pictured he and his brother sitting at home, practicing the bloody pronunciation of all these things.
And T-Dogs pulls him up every time he gets one wrong. T-Dogs, that's not like that. It's not like that. The race caller, not like that. It's worth checking out if you like the Vic Racing. Check out the racing show; they do a good job, the boys. But Nico, I'm proud to say that I think you've got the crown as probably the worst at pronouncing names. We're not going to bother watching the replay. Animo, he just puts himself in the race. He gets a PR every time. He's got barrier 3. He's got J-Mac. He's $1.65. We won't even going to let Nico speak, or it'll go for an hour and 50 minutes.
It's hilarious. It's the same race again. It's the same race as first up, but 200 metres further. And Fangirl's drawn inside again. Kate McAvoy going to be last. The rail's out 3. If it gets the run, it's the danger again. Yeah,
he's just a good horse, isn't he?
It's just nothing.
He's just a good horse.
He's just a good horse. He's just going to lob 1-1, and who can beat it? I don't think there's the only. No, I don't know.
Laws of Indices.
Fangirl's the only horse that can beat it if they walk and it sprints, and if he has a bit of bad luck or something. I think the bets take the $31 Knight's Order in the Sydney Cup.
Flying.
Well, I don't know if it's flying or not, but I think that it'll run a race here, and I just think it's a silly price in the Sydney Cup.
Okay. Any comments, Nico?
Not really. I think Fangirl's the only danger. She was huge first up. I'd love if they brought her for the All-Star Mile. She'd be right in that race, but the only way she'd probably beat Animo if she's either tagging him or right with him. So I just don't know if that'd be the tactic second up. So look, $1.65. You could make a case it just should be shorter.
You'd do it, honestly. Though. If you owned it, you'd do it, wouldn't you? Because the chances are they're going to walk. Even Knight's Order, if he rolled along from the draw or something, he's not going to go fast. So you'd take as you say, you can only beat him if you're within a length of him. So you'd half digger out of the gates. Fuck it, have a shot at the title.
The interesting one is, Albotagon, how sort of plain he was first up, and then now they found Regan, off the Cox Plate runs, you'd be saying, he's a chance to beat Animo this autumn, and I don't know, it seems looks like off the first up run, the horse has gone backwards.
The only change of tactics, and if it has to have option to lead or something crazy in the change of tactics, that's the only way. Otherwise, like you say, it's not coming from behind Animo and beating it, is it? It's got to be in front of Animo to beat it.
I spoke to Tristan on the Monday after the Light Fingers and the Apollo, and I said, how'd you go on the weekend? And he goes, we're going really good until In Secret and Animo. And every multi and every punter just absolutely just spears into them. So these two horses are sort of public enemy number one for bookies at the moment.
That's only because of Nico's following, really.
Huh?
That's only because of Nico's following. It's nothing to do with the horses.
That's the thing. Wagering service providers 2023, they're at the hands of the multi. That's all it is. Multi punters, multi this, multi that. I heard him because he was on, Mark Hayward had him on as well, Scoot. He said exactly the same thing. He said, and he's big bloke who takes multis. If he hits the multis, it's basically the day. The day revolves around that. Everything else sort of goes to and fro. He said they all got beat last week. We still didn't get back with the multis, because the shorties all went over last weekend.
Yeah, it would have been fat last weekend.
Nature's Strip and all that, yeah.
Sure.
But multis. It's all multis, mate.
And they were all good lays, as in, these ones look really well set up, right position, sort of rinse repeat. They're a bit nightmarish.
Last week was the other way.
Last week, you got 8-year-olds resuming, all sorts of weird and wonderfuls. None of them look bulletproof. So if you didn't have a monster week last week, you're rubber stamp, not a bookie anymore for mine.
Oh, wow.
I'm not having to go with Tristan then that. Everyone, if you didn't have a good week last week, you're not pushing favourites. You're not aggressively attacking
favourites.
Vulnerable favourites. No.
And even if you do, I had a drink with Jules on Thursday night.
The Apprentice.
There's even that's their mantra. Him and JJ doing the form and hanging things out that they're potting. And he said they'll just hang there, won't get a bean. And if they do get a bean, you know what it is. It's blokes you don't want to be getting a bean off. Like it's you can hang them out there top odds. It's nothing's changed.
I don't know if you're aware, DK, that PD's chasing Jules for the best hand in racing. He's moved to Coffs Harbour across the road from the beach there, and he's chasing Jules. He's getting browner by the week.
Oh, for the best, is he?
Yeah, he's getting browner by the week.
He's a marvel, Jules.
So's PD.
Best shirt, best tan. Race 9 is the Liverpool City Cup over 1,300 metres, and think about it. Is this the new Private Eye? $3.30. Quantico $5. Gravina $5. Profondo $8.50. Sabak $9. Roy Deeney $10. Rocketing by $13. Bandersnatch $15. Ranch Hand $26. That's a field. We're going to have a look at their trial of Profondo. Super Magic Man his head will blow off when he watches the show this
week. We're going share here, mate. We're going if you could turn back time. We're turning back time. We're praying for the old Profondo. He
in the white and the fence.
Good to see a couple of gear changes, things that I like. So earmuffs pre-race off, showing he's more settled. I know he's still got his balls, which is an issue. I wish he didn't have his balls, then I'd be very excited. He had another crazy noseband, Hanoverian noseband that's coming off. So Bubble Cheek off first time. They've sort of stripped him back, which is I like to see that. I like to see they've sort of left him alone in the trial here. And who's he chasing, Nico? I've got no. It's a good horse in front. I can't remember.
Sabak?
Sabak's outside, so he's who's in front?
Artorias.
Artorias is outside the leader, and Sabak, who's in this race, is a little bit one pace. So he's a bit of the key. I think watching this, you'll see why I think Profondo will get over Sabak in this race. Artorias would start in price in this race? Something insanely short.
Geez, that's a good trial.
Yeah, and he's
for a horse who's been in the wilderness.
That's it. So, and are you showing the other one as well, or you're not showing the other?
No, not showing the other.
So,
one.
What was the first up run last time?
We nearly beat Animo.
Got beat 1.75 by Animo.
And I reckon they wrote it the wrong way.
And they wrote it wrong. Yeah, they wrote it off speed there, and he resented it, and still only beat like a slow run race. So obviously that's going to bunch the margins up. But to be beat 2 lengths there, run third. This time he's resuming in against a lesser quality of horse.
Absolutely nothing.
No, nothing. And Gravina's sort of 5-2. I thought its run the other day was only fair. Sabak's, in the market. Quantico, they all come out of that race, which was the Mr. Mozart race, which if you say Mr. Mozart probably should have won by 3, what does that say about the race? Think about it's coming out of a what? And I love this horse, but he's coming out of a what? He beat Pizarro.
Cannizaro went through the bloody
Rex the sausage dog could beat Pizarro. And he's here. So he can run well. But 53... He's dropping a kilo and going up 37 grades. If you could, the sharer of the turn back time of Profondo would have started $1.50 in this race, and $8.50. It's got to be wrong. It's got to be
dry track.
Yeah, and a dry track. Yeah,
Chad.
I don't mind Chad just because there's not a decision to make. He'll just flop wherever he wants to flop here. There's not great speed, but he shouldn't be too far off him in the first 4. And as long as he doesn't do his nut act and whatever, I just how can't start $8.50? Like what? It's crazy.
I think Super Multi-Man, Magic Man will have Profondo in his multi to win a new house.
He loves it. Yeah.
He loves that horse, and he's got Thunderstruck running around the same weekend.
I just can't wait to the end of the day that we're chasing Profondo, and then if we miss it Profondo, I think we've got the Oakleigh plate on the hillside downside second winning post 20 horse race to really get out on it. Should be a cracking day Saturday. How good are they?
It is.
As big a wins as I am, they're great
races.
Well, yeah, so you're happy now. Sydney's like stepping stones average races, but Melbourne is good racing.
Melbourne's a grouse. This is a great day. Can't wait for it. Racingwatch.com.au if you want more of Johnny's madness, the good, the bad, the ugly, the mood swings. It's all there in the Discord chat. Or if you want no head noise, it's Telegram. So you just get little zippy messages. So
if you want head noise, just back a horse in Brisbane called Sea Cripple.
Oh, I was on
Sea Ripple. I've never seen a horse. Its last 3 starts have just been 1, 2, 3. I've never seen a horse. It is party for one. If you own both of those horses and you haven't been to Bunnings and bought a chair and a short bit of rope,
Jesus Christ.
A very tough human.
Is Kyle Wilson Taylor he's a very casual rider?
What was that? Especially after its last 2 starts, the owners would be going, mate, whatever you do, you just get everything to just go left.
Tries to ride pretty Kyle from what I've seen. I don't watch enough of his stuff, but I'll tell you what,
the old non-claiming apprentice.
Yuck. I'm starting to get sick of his the way he goes about it.
Jay
Don't know
Huxtable
him.
would have been in the crowd pissing himself after he got taken off it after the last 2 starts. But
Ugh.
anyway, it's
punt.
a horse I love
Just
to hate.
tortures you 7 days a week, the punt. That's why we love it. We're all crazy. Donnie's best. Let's go, Donnie. The bopper last week was an absolute beauty.
G'day, gents. Johnny's back again with this weekend's best bet. Pretty good last weekend. Got the best bet home. Let's see if we can do it again this week. We're back at Noonan. Should be a nice, fair track in the soft range. So I think we can find a couple of winners. First best bet comes up in race 3, number 11, IPO. We ran a really good race at Warwick Farm last start. That race has had a couple of winners come out of it. Just as it was trying to peel off heels and hit the line, it got slightly held up. Today at Doomben, it's going to get in the perfect spot. 1 out, 1 back. Larry Cassidy's on board, which is a little scary. But this horse clearly looks the best horse in the race. Around $4 looks a nice price. So I'm happy to bet up on race 3, number 11, IPO. Next bet comes up in race 5, Santiaro. It was first up for the day and Hoisted Yard last start. It was sneaked right back to last. We're in the best last 8, 6, and 2 of the day. It's flying. Allman takes over. It's going to map a bit closer here today, and the step up to 1,600 metres is ideal. It's pretty keen to back that. I think it's around about the $3.50 mark. So the 2 best bets on the weekend at Doomben are race 3, number 11, IPO, and race 5, number 9, Centauro. Good luck, boys.
I love that he says Donnie's back and talks to himself in third person. I love that about the Don. But those horses
Who are we talking about that does that? He and Callow.
King Gallo.
They'd be a good pet partnership,
They
actually.
both love the Gold
He should
Coast.
manage him. Imagine that interview and he'd be talking to him about him, Noel in the third person, and him in the third. That'd be good.
King
I think that'd be
Keller
awesome.
needs a podcast, I reckon. Every other sports star's starting to get him. He might as well get one.
Mate, he
God,
would get
what will
arrested
You
after
need
a
him not
week.
to be licensed. You need him not to be
Yeah,
licensed.
you got the day he
Really?
retires, sign him up for a podcast. That's right.
Too good. Donnie's horses are both off the map, so do what you like with those ones. But
The
both-
Tough Horse IPO used to be in a different camp. It's it's an interesting one. Doesn't look a strong race from what I can see.
and then Santiro looks well suited as well.
Don't know that one, but that camp is flying.
Okay, TopSport Steam last week. Wollombi, D Oliver, $15. They're the odds I'm talking about. That's when you want to tune into D Oliver. Sandown race 9, number 11 is the first bet this weekend. Chain of Lightning, 400, 850. Total forgive last start. There's 1 out to 1400. My knock last week, Nico, was maybe she was just a wet tracker, but it proved that she was pretty good on a dry track.
Yeah, she's in the race for sure.
Gate 2 last start was a slight handicap and probably cost of the race. Gate 2 here could be diabolical.
Doomben race 6, Lord of Markle. Forgot the number there.
Megan.
500 at $12. Haven't got to that race yet.
Donnie says.
so
that
much
Donnie,
form.
Not sure if Donnie
Two
likes
two
it.
bigger odds for Donnie.
Yeah,
Two bigger
so
odds for Donnie.
Yeah, hard enough. He
He
self-confessed.
sold you.
That's what he likes to find a favourite. Randwick race 8, number 2, Moanga, 400 at $19. This looks over
Price
the
is
odds.
big.
Yeah,
Went
for a
good
big
first
price.
up. Price
I've
big.
got the price early there.
Price big, no knock, but needs things to go its way.
She got a Ferrari, Annabelle, now.
She's got a Ferrari. I tell you what, I
Suits
don't
her.
want is any of the pressure that she would possibly have from buying 9 million horses. That pressure I can't sleep at night owning a house and having to pay it off. I couldn't imagine owning 46 bazillion horses and having to sell them and pay them off.
She's flying, isn't she?
She's got a big set of nuggets. I'll give her that. That's all. She's opening training centres. She's buying like a wounded bull. Good luck to her. And she's got a very, very nice 2-year-old.
I think that's the end of the show. DK, good luck on your bender. You'll need it. Well, every bit of bloody your late 40s. Good luck with that one, mate.
Thanks, Scoot. Yeah, look here. Yeah, late for it. That's right. They don't come around very often.
You've got a good lead in. Kilmore tomorrow. That doesn't scream DK.
No, it
Silveras.
doesn't. No.
Yarra Valley doesn't scream DK.
I've been betting at Kilmore for 30 years. I could count the number of times I've won there on one hand, I reckon. So, yeah, it's sort of in the bin.
You might have to get up and about for Terang on Sunday.
Oh,
though.
T-Rang. Yeah, I love the Flemington in the bush. Lindsay, Wild, all my camp, Dabinick.
Lindsay's flying far out.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, no. Looking forward to it. Big weekend. Looking forward to Sandown, really. It is exciting carnival down here. You'll be out there, Nico?
I'll be there.
All right, good luck with your Godolphin bets this weekend, Nico. And if you want his mounting yard, make sure you check that out. Big thanks to everyone. Cracking show. And, I think it's going to be great racing. So hopefully the track plays pretty fair. We'll see you next week.